Mahomes finds Travis Kelce on 3rd down, but he loses the ball thanks to Devin McCourty. Kelce was ruled down, but after review, it is ruled Patriots ball. You know who's not happy about that? Bill Belichick. He thought the recovery could easily have gone for 6. Who knows? On the ensuing drive, Brady finds rookie wideout N'Keal Harry. So Harry will tiptoe down the sideline, gets into the end zone, but the refs rule Harry was out of bounds, and he clearly wasn't.
Belichick's a challenge.
Out of challenges, though, Nick. Damn. So they'd have to settle for a field goal to cut the lead to 7. One last possession for the Pats. The Chiefs send the house. Brady can't connect with Julian Edelman. KC snaps the Patriots' 21-game home win streak. That is all. Coach Belichick, Mancini got so into it. How worried do you think the Patriots should be about the offense that you saw there, the offense we've seen the last month or so?
How happy is Nick right now?
So happy that I was supposed to ask him the question.
No, I want to hear from you. I'm excited.
He's like the guy who sits on the corner and screams a prediction, and then finally it comes through. He's like, oh, my God, I told you I was right. I told you. Look, there needs to be some concern, but there's been concern throughout the course of the season because of the issues that they have with the offensive line. And I've talked about this before. Those problems are real, and they're not going away. And it got... they took another step further yesterday, losing or not being able to play their starting center, who's a backup center for the captain who they lost. So it's been a series of challenges from an offensive line perspective. Have really no ability right now to run the ball on a consistent basis, and the amount of pressure on Tom is getting. It seems to be increasing on a weekly basis. So there's a lot of things that they have to overcome, but they still find a way to be in every single game. They still find a way to be in a position to win those games later, or to be in the game late. And against an offense that's supposed to be as prolific as Kansas City is, that disappears in the second half of yesterday's game, you know, it gives them hope that if they get a few things straightened out, they get a chance here moving forward.
So the Patriots obviously should be immensely concerned about their offense. They never lose this game. They're at home. They win the turnover battle. They block a punt. They execute not one but 2 trick plays, one for a touchdown, one for their second biggest gain of the day, and they still can't crack 17. Their 5 biggest plays by yardage on the day were a flea flicker, a pass by the running back, 1 defensive pass interference, another defensive pass interference, and a 42-year-old man scrambling on 4th and 6. Like, their offense has no ability to move the football against a supposedly horrible Chiefs defense. And now listen, I understand the narrative can be that where it all went wrong for New England is their center and their fullback got hurt. And now they can't run the football. And now all these things. What I would argue is this. Teams do not respect their ability to throw it outside, so they are able to dedicate more people to stopping the run, and they're going to heat up Tom Brady, something for the first 17 years of his career he made a living off of. You could never blitz Tom Brady, and now you can, and you can on the final play of a game, and the ball can be batted away. New England's last 5 weeks, they got whooped by Baltimore. They escaped against Philly. Philly hasn't won since. They escaped against Dallas. Dallas hasn't won since. They got whooped by Houston, a Houston team that just got annihilated at home by the Broncos. And they got beat by Kansas City at home, despite winning the turnover battle, despite blocking a punt. Yeah, it's time to be seriously concerned about New England, because as good as the defense is, when they play the best offenses, Canny, the offenses get at least to 20. Baltimore did, Houston did, Kansas City did. Can New England's offense do it? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, they've averaged, what, 18 points over the last 5 games, and they only cracked 20 once.
In garbage time.
And that was garbage time against the Texans. So, yeah, you absolutely have to be worried. But, Nick, you made a point about how Tom Brady was good against the blitz in years past. Well, I think that has to do with Tom Brady Brady having the trust of his wide receivers. And outside of Julian Edelman, you can't say that Tom Brady has confidence in any of those guys. Jacoby Myers, he had another critical drop early in the fourth quarter that would have been a touchdown right there. They had to settle for a field goal. Like those types of miscues, I think that's what's leading Tom Brady down this road where he's frustrated and he's constantly trying to get in the ear of those receivers because those guys aren't being able to create the separation versus man coverage that he's accustomed to seeing. So when they do come with extra defenders on the rush, Tom Brady doesn't have any outlet to go to because everybody knows we're going to take away Julian Edelman and you don't have any answers, at least not on a consistent basis. But in watching yesterday's game, especially in the second half, there were a couple of situations that you have to look at and you say, you know what? If the officials make the right call in those situations, you're probably talking about the complexion of the game being a little bit different. Like the N'Keal Harry touchdown that they ruled he was out of bounds on the 3. I don't understand what the point is of calling that play dead at the 3 when all scoring plays are reviewed. Just review the play. It was a situation where you obviously see that N'Keal Harry was able to keep that left foot in bounds and extend to the pylon. To me, that's one of those situations where I know we like to say that Tom Brady and the Patriots offense was awful, but that officiating was really bad, and I felt like it cost them an opportunity to win that game.
Yeah, and we can criticize New England's offense, and the bar has been set so high for them to overcome any type of adversity. And we can say, well, look, they've got a few problems on the offensive line. They're on their third center. Okay, they're on this is the fourth left tackle that's cycled through here. Those problems are significant, and it's not just the pressure. It's the how quickly defenders are getting on Tom Brady in 3- and 4-man rushes. And that last play of the game, he did a great job of getting the protection right, being able to pick up that blitz. The leverage on the 7 route was fantastic. They went to the right place, and it was a pretty good play by a defensive player. But New England, again, is in a position to tie that game.
I love it so much. I love it so much. The great job was done by the quarterback who threw the incomplete pass that ended the game. The pretty good job was done by the secondary player, the defensive back who batted it away. And we can, some of these are little word games, Coach. They're on their 4th left tackle because they let Nate Solder walk, because they let Trent Brown walk. And now their left tackle is their 1st-round pick, Isaiah Wynn. Like, these are conscious
decisions. We're talking about Isaiah Wynn in the middle of the season coming back from IR. N'Keal Harry, the same thing. Jacoby Myers is a rookie. Mohamed Sanu, they just got. So, look, we want to look at this and say that they can't do anything. But the things that they're overcoming would have crippled almost any other team. It doesn't happen for New England. And go ahead and take a victory lap with Kansas City, who scored 3 points in the second half. The polar opposite of what they've historically done, right? Where they're no good in the first half and actually play well in the second half. This time they just reversed it.
But you told me that last year, the second halves didn't matter because they lost. And now they won, but what if? And what if the call went their way? You're right. He should not have been ruled out of bounds.
Yes.
And if Belichick hadn't blown his first challenge, he could have challenged that. But despite that, they have 1st and goal from the 3, and they can't punch it in because the offense has no punch whatsoever. And we can say, oh, well, last year they lost 2 in a row late as well. They did. The difference between this year's team and last year's team, among other things, is that there's 4 teams that matter in the AFC. New England, Baltimore, Houston, Kansas City. Baltimore, Houston, and Kansas City are 2-1 against those opposing 3 teams. New England, loss,